We wanted to take a look at how kids actually interpreted the voices of some of the characters that we know from The Lion King. There's been lots and lots of reports and peer-reviewed articles and journals and anything you can imagine online that talks about how problematic these characters are and how kids will interpret them. Well, what we wanted to do is take a look at whether these kids actually saw these characters in the same way as we adults do, because we assume they do, but are they actually seeing the same thing?
So what we decided to do was get kids and the range from 4 to 11, and we picked them and asked them to come to our location, and we showed them 2 separate Lion King clips. The first clip was a scene from the movie that showed the hyenas together, and then the second clip was with Scar, and we showed them each the clip twice, and then we asked them to draw pictures of what they thought the hyenas looked like as people and what Scar looked like as a person.
And so the main reason for this is what a lot of people talk about, especially with the hyenas, is how racialized the voices are and how it's very clear that they belong to minorities. You had played by Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marion, I forget who the other person was. As adults, it's pretty clear what they're trying to portray as humans. What we want to see is if kids were picking up on that. Scar was one. Mufasa. Who else?
I forget the parrot's name.
Okay.
The hyenas.
The hyenas. So the 4 that we want to talk about right now are the 2 hyenas, Mufasa, and Scar. Okay?
Hyenas.
There's 3 hyenas, right? Okay, so 3 hyenas. Look at that. 3 hyenas, Mufasa, and Scar. Okay, so what I want you to do is think about the person who is the voice of these animals. Can you do that? Can you try to picture what that person would look like? Because all we can hear is their voices. So no, just try to picture it. And what I want you to do first is to draw the hyenas. So I want you to draw the people who are the hyenas, not the hyenas. Because you understand that those cartoon characters have the voices of real people, right?
Yeah, I know that.
We don't know. So all we know is what they sound like. We know how they sound and how they act. That's the only thing we know. So what I want you to do is try to think about how you would draw them as a person. Do you understand? So I want you to, whatever comes into your head, that's what's right. There is no right answer.
And
Okay.
throughout doing the experiment, asked them to draw these pictures of what they look like, we came to see that this is exactly our hypothesis was proven correct, that the kids didn't really pick up on hyenas being racialized as minorities or African American characters, and they didn't really pick up on Scar having gay characteristics. They just picked on what the characters did in the movie that made them the way they are, not as if they were real life people.
I'll go back to We were talking about the hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think the hyenas look like as people? Can we take the lollipop out? Can I hold it for you? I'll hold it. Thank you. I won't suck it. I promise. So what do you think they look like?
They're mean.
Okay.
They're scary.
Describe to me what they look like as people.
Well, I think they kind of look funny.
Yeah.
So they all have a special thing that's about them.
Like what?
So like this guy, he's a little big.
Okay.
Because as you see, he's eating something right there.
Mm.
Which can you see?
Yeah, I can see
on
that.
his body.
Yeah. What skin color are they?
This one, they're all the same.
Okay. And what's that?
Blonde.
Well, the skin is blonde? What do you mean, like white? Okay. And why? What makes you say that? What makes you think that?
They sound.
They sounded white?
One of them has like a bunny voice.
In the movie, he doesn't have a wife or kids. Why do you think that is?
Just because like Lion Girl would not marry him because he thinks he's so bright. And he's really not.
Do you think he'll ever find a lion that loves him?
No.
Why not?
I don't think any lion will love him because he's really just so light out of time. He plays tricks on everyone sometimes.
Yeah, and it was fun to be in there knowing that all of their answers were completely unfiltered. They weren't holding back. They weren't trying to be politically correct, and they weren't saying anything wrong either. But it was just it's fun to know that when you're talking to the kids, they were willing to just say whatever's on their mind. And some of them were obviously, it was a little over their head, the concept of it. But we wanted them to be there to show that that this is how they interpret things, because that they're a major part of the Lion King and Disney's market for that.
Yeah, so to take a look at what we did at the beginning of the semester, to be like, oh, Disney is this problematic thing and the Lion King is this problematic thing, it's interesting to actually just be with the kids and ask them, you know, what do you think the hyenas are? Do you think they're minorities? And it's just like this big topic, and you know, going in there, we're like, we don't think that it's as problematic as people make it seem. So it's interesting to actually be there firsthand to ask young kids these questions about films that they've seen many, many times.